WKXB in Knoxville, Tennessee, on the air for
All right, yeah, it's really cool driving old cars like these, and makes you feel like you're going back in time and racing the way they did back then.
Drag racing's safe, and it's a whole lot of fun, and it is a real sport.
I'd like to ask you to be watching this station.
David Lancaster, brother, Knoxville, Tennessee, Knoxville Dragway 2019. We date back to like 2015 to this event, and it has never failed to produce great drag racing and superior spectator count, so we know we're in the mecca of drag racing interest.
Yeah, great facility here and a wonderful racetrack. These guys love this racing facility, and we expect nothing less today. We have got the biggest number of turnout we've had, over 80 plus cars, making it the largest Southeast Gasser event that we've ever had, and we're proud to have it here at Knoxville Dragway.
Absolutely. You know, the Harrell family has had this facility for a long time, and it always produces great traction, and it has produced some quite wild rides. So this is just an exciting racetrack for us, and we're so happy to be here again. Longtime friends with the Harrell family, myself and Quayne are, so great bunch of people. But you know, now then we got to talk about, David, where we're coming to in the points. This is, as you were saying a minute ago, the 9th race out of 11. So after this one, there's 2 more, and the points are tightening. Now, we was just sitting here recapping. There's no real changes in the points leader from the last event, but the big story there is Kenneth Phillips, 2 A-Gas wins in a row. Could this be an event for 3 in a row, which is a pretty big precedent? And now, in his bid to capitalize on that A-Gas championship that he has been so close years before. He's finished second once or twice, but he hasn't capitalized the championship yet.
He hasn't. He was able to get a couple of rounds because of Alan Gaulden going out up at Virginia. But Alan Gaulden's been to work. Now, I talked to him. Those guys over there in the Swamp Monster camp, they've been to work down there in the swamps of Florida, and they're coming up here, and they said that Swamp Monster's going to have some teeth today. Saw pass last night. He looked really good in. So that A-Gas category is going to prove to be just what it is, the king of the sport. Kenneth Phillips is dead gunning for it as always.
Yes.
B-Gas getting tighter too. Tim Bailey still going rounds, but Jerry Birch winning races like he did at Virginia, and he keeps tightening that gap up. Leslie Horn's still on top in S.E.G.A, and I'm telling you, Super Stock is right back in the thick of it with Hackett and with Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede. That's going to be a shootout to the end.
Well, see, you're stealing my thunder there.
Sorry.
Super Stock is my class, you know, for this year. I just really love that category. But the most exciting thing for me, nothing against Mark and Robert and the Chryslers and the Fords, but I finally get my Chevrolet in the field with Rick Varner and his 63 Impala.
Yes.
Big block power. That car looks strong. Rick says it is strong. So I'm kind of been teasing Peffley and Hackett and saying, hey, what are you guys going to do with that old Chevrolet? And so I am so anxious to see how that turns out.
And it's turning out great too. Like you said, Mitch, we got a Chevrolet, we got a Plymouth, and we got a Ford. So it covers all the manufacturers.
Stock of history.
That's exactly right, and that makes it really great. And we're going to see that come to fruition today. I can't wait to get started with this action.
Absolutely. David, you said it best, brother. I'm ready. I know they're ready. The mountains are ready. We're going to have that echo. The weather is good. This is going to be a great day for drag racing. Let's get on with it.
No doubt. We're going to roll right into S.E.G.A round number 1 right here. As you see, there is the flower power of Cynthia Phillips, the 56 Bel Air, doing a long smoky burnout coming out of the water box right there. A little unusual for her. She's upping her game and doing those water burnouts now instead of just the dry hops. She's going to take on Kevin Shaw out of Lebanon, Tennessee in the odd rod. So a hometown race for Kevin. Good lead right there. Cynthia Phillips pours the power on. Listen to that small block wind as she gets through the gears, and a great shot right there by Sulf Imagery to bring you that starting line camera shot. Jeff Jones in the 66 wagon right there. He calls that Mama's Pie wagon. He's going to be in the left lane out of Indiana. He's got that one-way technology power under the hood of Sam Jones, his dad. He's going to take on Rick Taylor right here, our resident Canadian by way of Arizona. He's relocated to Arizona and made his way to Southeast Gasser Racing. Found us through the YouTube that you're watching right now. Just like this, you could be the next racer out here. Look at Jeff Jones get the wheels up in the air, second and third gear as he powers down the 8th mile strip and takes the win here and moves to round number 2. Great shot right there. One-way technologies to the front as you see that arrow. And there he is, Henry McDougal, the madman. Henry McDougal getting ready to make his debut here in the first round of eliminations. He's going to take on Doug Capps out of Clinton, Tennessee. And Doug Capps already a winner many times over in the Southeast Gas or S.E.G.A category. And this dark horse 1965 little Mustang that he has put together is a deadly combination. So McDougal going to have his hands full here. Good lead by McDougal, wheels up. Something happens to Capps just as he leaves the line. And Henry McDougal going to get his first win here in his first ever round of competition in Knoxville, Tennessee with the Southeast Gassers. Another great shot from Sewell Imagery right there. If you want to catch him on SewellImagery.com, you can order that print right there if you so choose. In Leslie Horn's office right there, the Stud Muffin providing us a little in-car camera action in that 62 wagon as he gets ready to take on Dan Hogan out of Georgia in the flat-out Falcon. Love to see this kind of action right here. Our drivers have been trying to get those GoPros tuned in and get them over to Trent Sherrill so we can get that action to you so you can see what goes on in one of these cars as the driver goes through all 4 speeds with this manually shifted transmissions. Hogan hangs with him on the line, but there comes that Gene Fulton horsepower. You can hear that small block whine. And Leslie Horn moves on to round number 2 right here as the points leader in S.E.G.A. There's the young blood, Josh Pruitt. He's going to take on Craig Bailey in the Monkey Machine. First time we've seen Craig Bailey out here in the Southeast Gassers with us, making his maiden voyage in eliminations right here. Craig Bailey putting together a good-looking race car, but he's going to have his game on to take on the young blood. And there you see the young blood just nails him to the tree. And that 63 Ford Fairlane is going to move to round number 2. Another great shot of letting you hear that high winding Ford motor. Next pair, there is Jenny Moses out of Brazelton, Georgia in the Scream Machine, the 1955 Chevy, taking on Todd Oden, our 2017 champ out of Birmingham, Alabama in that 1958 Chevy Del Rey that he calls the Double X. There you see Gina Oden, Todd's wife, sprinting down the racetrack right by the vintage pine flooring sign to back her man up and get him ready for first round of eliminations here in S.E.G.A. Jenny Moses got that beautiful Paul Vanderpool paint job on the Scream Machine. And Todd Oden laying the rubber down. Blistering the quarter mile right there is our number 2 qualifier here today. Todd Oden was the exact ET as our number 1 qualifier, Tim Hall. Had to go to a mile per hour, and he just got edged out ever so slightly by Tim Hall, making him the number 2 qualifier. There you see Tim, the aforementioned Tim Hall in the Scalded Dog Rambler, our number 1 qualifier, and by virtue of being the number 1 qualifier, he gets a bye run first round, and he just takes the tree and moves it down the track very easily. There's Ron Hall out of Bluntville, Tennessee in that 57 homegrown Chevy, and he is going to do just the same thing as his competition broke and was not able to make the call right here in first round. So he takes the win right there. Moving on into B-Gas, there you see our series sponsor Summit Race Equipment. Hoosier Racing Tires, as we catch a glimpse of Chris Carroll, our scale man down there with the Southeast Gassers, pulling Daniel Haynes in that 1961 Falcon onto the scales, making sure that the Patriot weighs just what it should before competition. and he rolls it into the right lane where he'll be facing James Beard out of Ripley, Tennessee in the Obsolete 2. James and Dan Beard come from Ripley, Tennessee and make almost every race with us in this beautiful Obsolete 2. And the performance has really proven to pick up for those guys as they have stepped their game up this year. And they've got no slouch in Daniel Haynes here from Holly Springs, South Carolina in round number 1 at Knoxville Dragway. There's a great shot of all the fans here today, a capacity crowd at Knoxville Dragway to take in the Southeast Gasser action in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains. Big hole shot right there for James Beard. That's going to be all he needs. Another great shot of the Summit starting line camera. Really enjoying the view right there. As you can see, that's the front stretch of an old circle track.
B-Gas competitor Jeff Madden sustained one of the most dramatic crashes that we have seen, fortunately, we have seen in the Southeast Gassers Association since its inception. This happened in Indiana, Lyons, Indiana. We're so happy that you didn't have any serious injuries. Obviously, you know, we're blessed. We thank God, and we know you was blessed by God in that. You know, just kind of walk us through that briefly. You know, what was that like? Obviously, the first thing you had to do was have the desire to do it.
Yes.
The next thing you had to do was come up with something to use because it wasn't going to be the old car.
Yeah,
it was done. And so now, just a little brief intro into the mind of Jeff Madden and his return back to competition.
Well, to start off with, my wife on the way back from Indiana, when I'm in the car, she thought I should take up fishing. So the thought of taking up fishing scared me enough to put me back in a car. So
You're my kind of guy.
I figured if I didn't hurry and get back in it and make a hit, that it would mess with me. I had to get a car, get it up and get it running, get it ready in almost a 2-week period between the last race and the next one at Mooresville. The guys were like, all right, we got the car, we're good. Never drove the car. They're like, you know, just make a couple passes, go down easy, make sure it stops, make sure it steers and shifts and all that. So when we pulled up for the first time, I stopped and I'm sitting in the car and it's like, I need to do it. So we just let it eat, and it toted the tires and ran through the gears and pulled back in the pits, and the guys are like, what? And I'm like, hey, she's good to go, boys. Let's ride.
Let's go racing.
That's right. So,
Well, Jeff, we're glad you're back, brother. As we said, we're glad you made it through. Basically not a scratch. Good to have Hollywood back, you know. So we just wish you the best of luck, and we look forward to some more top-end interviews.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you, Jeff.
And there is the aforementioned Jeff Madden in the misleading 2. Going to take on Rick Varner, the dirt man in that Chevy 2 over there. If that car looks familiar, he purchased that car from Steve Davis. That car was the former Papa Spinney car, and it has been working out very well for Madden as he has continued his campaign here in 2019 to stay in that top 10 in points in B-Gas. Well, right here, he is a little bit napping on the line. As you see that car, horsepower pulling him up in second and third gear, but just too much whole shot advantage by Rick Varner, and Rick Varner puts him on the trailer right here in the first round at Knoxville. Another great shot that Jeff Madden doesn't have a problem, as he says, letting it eat. There's another guy that doesn't bother letting it eat, and that is Todd Napier out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee. And he's going to take on a first-time runner with us, a newcomer, Bill Revels. You see him there in the left lane. Revels was our number 26 qualifier here in a 30-car field in B-Gas today. That's right, folks. I said 30 is a record number of cars. And letting it eat is Todd Napier. You see those front wheels off the ground in first and second gear. What a great camera angle we have right there perched atop the old grandstands of the circle track race that used to be here in Knoxville. Our number 1 qualifier, there he is, Jerry Birch out of Roebuck, South Carolina, in the Freebird, winner of the last 2 races here in B-Gas. And he's going to get Danny Bird, the Junkyard Dog, and that is a uncharacteristic matchup in first round. Danny Bird just didn't do well in qualifying. And Jerry Birch knows he has to go and do his job on the tree and lose ever so early. And the red light catches him, and he has eliminated himself here today at Knoxville Dragway. That is a big hit to his points championship run. As going out here in first round, there's going to be 5 rounds of competition minimum here today in B-Gas. There is the bad medicine of Ron Drake. That Falcon in the left lane going to take on a Falcon wagon, the 64 Ford Falcon wagon of Jimmy Huff out of Loganville, Georgia. He is going to be in the right lane. Jimmy Huff stepping up from C-Gas, put a different motor combination in it. Here today finds himself in B-Gas competition. Ron Drake been working really hard on that car, getting it competitive, and it's looking better. But too much Jimmy Huff horsepower in the right lane today, and he is going to put Ron Drake in the bad medicine on the trailer here at Knoxville. There's the rod slinger of Adam Lohorn out of Indiana. And there his competition in the first round, 16-year-old Colby Welch, also an Indiana Hoosier runner. These guys come from the same part of the state out there, really close to our Lions, Indiana race. Colby Welch, as a 16-year-old here making his debut year with us. He has been out there before. He got his sister as his backup girl. And there she is, a family affair for the Welch family. And Adam Lohorn, I like to call him Mr. Excitement, because Adam Lohorn will let it eat, as we like to say. He'll get the front wheels off the ground. He'll throw a rod out the side. Look at him take it up in the air on first and second gear. Colby Welch keeps those front wheels down, and he takes a win over the rod slinger right here in round number 1. Look at that rod slinger bounce all over the place. Adam Lohorn got a handful of wheel and shifting gears at the same time. There's our current points leader, Tim Bailey, the Alley Cat, out of Southern Pines, North Carolina. Getting a little bit of adjustments made back there on the wheelie bars. Looks like crew member Tim Timmerman back there working on it for him. And here's his competition in the first round. The Corpus Christi, Texas runner, none other than Ronnie Sandhuff, the Texas shooter. 2 good-looking race cars right there, the 57 Corvette of Bailey, the Alley Cat, and the Texas shooter, the 62 Chevy 2 of Sandhuff. Sandhuff calls his car the Texas shooter because he is a long-range shooter. He and his companion Jennifer both competitively shoot for long-range targets. So great name right there for Ronnie Sandhuff. Good lead by both drivers. We got a good drag race right here. And there you see Tim Bailey pull it out on the big end, and he gets the W, moving on to round number 2. Kelvin Cannon in that Platt and Cannon Racing, Loose Cannon, the 33 Willis panel. He's going to take on Todd Rosenberry right here in round number 1. There you see Christy Burchett bringing her man Kelvin Cannon into the beams. Something happening here with Kelvin Cannon's car. Don't know what it might be. Looks like he turned on the red light, folks. He did. Uncharacteristic of Kelvin Cannon to do that. There's the red light. Great photography work right there by Trent Sherrill and his crew. Unfortunately, that's going to be a DQ for Kelvin Cannon. Rod Bergner up next, another one of our Texas runners. Made every race this year with us. This is the 9th race already, and Rod Bergner hasn't missed one in the Undertaker. He'll be in the left lane, and in the right lane is going to be our guy who qualified number 6 today. That is Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, in the Paula's Nightmare 1966 Chevy 2 4-door car. There you see wings, etc. on the side, and underneath the hood, he's got a Ford motor in a Chevrolet car and a 4-door car at that. There's a great start right there, but look at Ernie Smith pour on the horsepower. Does not bother him one bit to have those 4 doors as he takes the win right here over Bergner and sends Bergner back to Texas early here today at Knoxville. There's the man who sits number 3 in points right now, T.J. York, out of Ohio in the Greenhorn Hillbilly, the 1955 Chevy Bel Air, and he's going to take on Art Beeler out of South Beloit, Illinois, in the Sour Grape. That car painted up just as it says, like a grape. Beautiful purple paint job on it. Going to take on the Greenhorn Hillbilly. So we got a battle of the Greenhorn versus the purple car here today in B-Gas with a record number of 30 entrants. Good lead right there. Good morning, good evening, and good night as T.J. York slams the door on Art Beeler's hopes here today in the Smoky Mountains. Sean McLemore getting a foul bird and moving it into the staging lanes where he's going to take on Lee Vickery.
So, it's hot.
Vickery letting everybody know what the temperature's like up here in Knoxville, Tennessee today. Vickery right there in the 55 Chevy, the canned heat. Car throwing back to that 2-lane blacktop look. Vickery out of Hodgenville, Kentucky in that 55, and Clinton, Tennessee, where the McLemores call home. There you see Elizabeth Phillips backing up Lee Vickery and making sure that he's in a safe place to get started. Car moves left on Vickery on the start. Vickery pulls it out on the big end right there, takes the win here in round number 1 at Knoxville Dragway. Bryant Dalton in the Glory Bound, the 1949 Ford right there, making his debut with us this year in 2019. First time we saw that car out, as it has undergone a massive restoration and change. Jimmy Huff horsepower under the hood of that 49 Ford. He's going to take on Gary Smith out of Leesville, South Carolina in the Chicken Bone, the 1951 Henry J. 340 horsepower, a Chrysler underneath the hood of that Henry J. And you see that Henry J pulling away, and a great win right there for Gary Smith here in Knoxville, Tennessee today. There's Mike Blackwell out of Campobello, South Carolina. He's going to be in that Smoking Sam car. Scott Duggan's prepared racing engine under the hood from the PAR race engines. Blackwell's competition could not make the call here, so he's going to get a single. Gives it a good hard run to about 3/4 track and pushes the clutch in. Our next competitor in the block is going to be Art Copeland right there in the Kryptonite, the 1941 Studebaker. He is supposed to take on Michael Walters, as you saw right there in the Papa's Wild Willis, but Michael Walters broke something and was unable to make the call here for first round, and Art Copeland taking it on to the win. Now moving on to A-Gas. First round of A-Gas coming up right here. Number 1 qualifier, Kenneth Phillips. There you see him bringing the car around. Fulton competition right there on the tag, and that's who builds the motor underneath the hood of that 1958 Corvette. There you see his wife, Elizabeth, backing him in and getting him to the starting line. What a run right there. Kenneth Phillips keeps that blistering pace as he was the number 1 qualifier. Next 2 up, that is going to be Troy Leitner out of Liberty, South Carolina, and that Henry J, the Shakin' Bacon. He's going to be taking on Gabriel Burrell in that 1931 Tudor that he calls the Southern Flyer. Gabriel Burrell, the number 8 qualifier today. Troy Leitner, the number 11 qualifier here at Knoxville Dragway. Little cat and mouse going on the line right here. Or should we say the pig is making a play to try to knock him out right here, but too much forward horsepower underneath the hood right there, and Gabriel Burrell takes that Tudor to the next round. There's Todd Blackwell in the slingshot out of Campobello, South Carolina. He's going to be taking on the North Tazewell, Virginia runner, Gary Klein, in that 1941 Willis that he calls the Tasmanian Devil. Another battle of the motor builders right here, Performance Automotive Engines underneath the hood, PAR, Scott Duggan's race engine, underneath the hood of that Slingshot. Going to take on the Gene Fulton prepared big block in the 1941 Willis of Gary Klein. Look at Todd Blackwell carry the wheels 12 inches or more in third gear, folks. Almost speechless after that run. Todd definitely hanging on to a high horsepower car right there. There's the next pair. Barry Lynn in the Little Red Wagon out of Greer, South Carolina, the 1965 Chevy Chevelle two-door wagon. He's going to take on Steve Davis in that Spinny 2 car. That car right there's got over 95 runs on it in this year alone, just trying to get that car worked out. And Steve Davis and his crew, tireless workers, have got their hands full here with Barry Lynn. And Steve Davis seeing the fruits of his labor work come through right there with a big W. And I know his crew is really celebrating that. Here's our number 5 qualifier on the day, the 1948 Anglia of Ben Christopher out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina. Going to take on another one of the racing McLemores. This time it's going to be Gary McLemore in the Atom Smasher. The 1967 Chevelle going to be in the left lane, taking on the little Anglia right here. PDQ and Happy Days is what it says across the back. Christopher keeps it relatively straight, and look at the horsepower come out of that Anglia. And Ben Christopher takes the win over Gary McLemore here in round number 1. There's the moonshot. None other than Sam Gable racing his good buddy, his own motor builder and friend, Rob Walden. Rob Walden in the 33 Willis, a direct replica of his father's car that he raced back in the day. His father was Lamar Walden, Mr. 409, and that's what that car has underneath the hood right there is a 409 cubic inch power plant in that 33 Willis. Sam Gable, 477 cubic inches underneath the hood of that moonshot that is prepared by the man sitting in that 33 Willis. And Sam Gable, a little too anxious, he turns on the red light as he definitely wanted to beat his buddy Rob and unfortunately left just a little too soon. Another great Summit starting line shot right there. You see where he left a little too soon, turning the win over to Rob Walden. A lot of routine maintenance going on right there. There you see JT Moses rotating some tires around, and in his ever so jovial self, all right, next pair up, Tony Turner out of Cumming, Georgia, going to take on the aforementioned JT Moses in that 56 Chevy Bel Air. All right, couple of Peach State runners right here. These guys, best of friends, but no friends right now as they're getting ready to put them on the line and drop the clutch here at about 9,500 RPMs and see what these cars can do. Tony Turner's wife, Kimberly, backing him into his beams, getting him ready. Justin Moses' wife does the same for him. And Justin Moses with the big horsepower coming out of the chute right there, putting Tony Turner on the trailer.
One of the more colorful characters that you'll find at the Southeast Gassers Association is Dean Jonas's Chevy 2 A-Gas entry is one of the cars that you will find here that exemplifies engineering perfection, craftsmanship in every kind of the way.
Great boss man Tommy Mooney learned me everything I needed to know to get to this point. I just adapted skills that I learned over time, and I applied them to 1967 style with a little bit of my engineering flair on it, and this is what I came up with.
You bring in a level of perfection that hasn't been seen with the Southeast Gassers Association, and so I would tell you, just look out for the onlookers, because they bound to be over here trying to steal your ideas.
I tell them to look all they want. I want them to steal my ideas and apply it to their cars.
Well, good luck, brother. Thank you much.
Thank you.
And there's Dean Jonas in a beautiful race car that he has built. Also another beautiful race car. There he is Zach Hall, him and his dad Ron, prepared that 55 Chevy in the offseason to run A-Gas. Two of the most beautiful race cars in the Southeast Gassers on the line right now, if you ask my opinion. And looks like Zach Hall had a little trouble getting the second gear, and Dean Jonas did not in that 66 Chevy too. And he took it to the win.
Alan Golden, we're in the 9th of 11 race series. For me, I don't know about the rest of the world, but for me, this is all about the championship. And so far, you've got it. It's yours to lose, but you got a hungry man who's been a bridesmaid many times who wants that championship terribly bad.
Yeah, and we changed some things in the car, and it got me off my routine. And so with those changes, I really haven't had enough time to acclimate myself to the changes we've had in this car. So we are working on it. We're not going to give nothing away, and he's a tough competitor. You know, we are too, and I'm getting acclimated to the changes we made, so we're ready. We are.
Good luck to you, boys. Y'all have a...
And there is the Swamp Monster. You just heard that great interview with Mitch Stott. He'll be in the left lane taking on another big-time runner, Todd Oden, who pulls double duty. Now he's in the A-Gas car called the Double Down. So double duty, double down, and double X. That's what I call Todd Oden, all three doubles, as he runs A and C gas. And he's got his hands full right here with this 61 Corvette of Alan Golden behind the wheel. Dave Van Alstyne, the owner of this car, has done a beautiful job in preparing this. Scott Duggins has put a race motor underneath the hood right there that puts out some big horsepower. Look at Golden rear the wheels up in second gear and takes the win in convincing fashion. We're going to continue right ahead and move to S.E.G.A round number 2 and thank Vintage Pine Flooring for helping bring us there. There he is, Henry McDougal, in the left lane in the Yo Huckleberry. He's going to take on that man that we just saw in A-Gas. He's busted it and got around here for C-Gas. This is Todd Oden, and Todd Oden takes that 58 Delray straight to round number 3 with a win here.
Dougal taking his time to stage. He's only got
no shortness of RPMs in either one of those two cars. As look at that leave by both cars.
Todd Oden, round 2 in the books. We're looking to round 3. You got quite a season going here. You are a past world champion. You know what it's all about. You also know there is 2 races left after this one, and you're a little bit on the outside looking in.
Yeah, I'm 6 rounds behind Leslie Horn, who is a strong competitor who doesn't make many mistakes, but I'm just hoping that maybe I can just get a round or two, and then get down the shady side and put the pressure on and do the best I can.
Well, that's going to be some of your best options, is to wait on him to make a mistake and then capitalize on it. But we know the great Todd Oden. If anybody can, you can. So good luck, brother.
Thank you, Mitch.
And there you see Josh Pruitt inside cockpit of the Youngblood, the 63 Ford Fairlane, the 22-year-old out of Inman, South Carolina, intently working that clutch, getting ready to take on Cynthia Phillips out of Columbus, North Carolina in the Flower Power. Josh Pruitt knows he can't take that lady lightly right there in that Flower Power car. Look at the lead by Pruitt. There's the margin of victory. You saw it at the stripe. Josh Pruitt moves on to round number 3 here today in Knoxville. Love to let you hear those high winding small blocks. That's why you hear me be quiet, but here's a great shot of him in the car. Look how quickly he works that clutch and accelerator. Josh Pruitt taking it on to round number 3 here today.
Josh Pruitt, it's been a little while that we get to do a lot of talking to you. I know you went to the finals at the last race, but at least you're back making rounds again today, even at the expense of Cynthia Flower Power.
Yeah, that was a good run. I always enjoy running her, but I enjoy making rounds too, so that's racing.
So how are we feeling about the car today? I know that at one point your crew chief, Billy, was a little concerned over the way the tree was working and how the car was running because you really couldn't get to the RPMs on the starting line. Have you got that under control?
Yeah, that's something I have to adapt to. I mean, I'm getting better at it every time, so it's still
To the floor every time.
So every round that passes, you're getting a little faster.
Yeah, get a little faster.
Good luck. See you in the next one.
All right, Jeff Jones in the battle of the wagons right here. Jeff Jones in Mama's Pie Wagon taking on the Stud Muffin, Leslie Horn in the 62. Something happens. Jeff Jones turns on the red light as he knew he had to be on his game to take that Fulton horsepower. And Leslie Horn takes the win right here by virtue of the red light.
Leslie Horn, brother, you're holding strong on that championship bid. We're just talking Todd Oden a minute ago. He knows the job he's got. He knows the only way this is going to happen is wait for you to make a mistake. So far, so good for Leslie Horn up here in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, we're going to try not to make no mistakes, but it's tough, and Todd's tough. All these boys is tough, and I was just looking at the ladder a while ago, and it's all like just 200s apart, all of them. So it's getting tougher and tougher. Old car's not doing what I want it to do. I went back to my old power plant, took my other one out, but we're here. We're going to do what we can do with it. Hope to see you in the next round. Thank you, Southeast Gassers. Thank you for the fans. Thank you for everybody.
They got it. We'll see you then.
There's Ron Hall in the homegrown, the 57 Chevy out of Bluntville, Tennessee. Going to take on the number 1 qualifier here today, Tim Hall in that 60 Rambler that he calls the Scalded Dog. 310 cubic inches underneath the hood for the Scalded Dog. He'll be in the right lane. Ron Hall will be in the left. It could be won within the first 60 feet of this race. Good lead by Ron Hall, but just a little bit of trouble as the car came down and settled down, and that's all that Tim Hall needed. And Tim Hall takes the win here and moves to the 3rd round where he'll take on Leslie Horn coming up next.
Tim Hall was talking earlier today about the fact that you could be a spoiler, and hey, you staying strong going into the 3rd round, just waiting for any of these guys, be it Todd Oden or Leslie Horn, to make a mistake. You could be the spoiler in this championship bid. Them two boys has got going.
Yeah, it's a good place to be and a bad place to be. It's just fun to get out and race and still try to win races, but it kind of sucks that I really don't have a shot at this point of getting the championship. But hey, there's always next year, and we'll just learn this year and get better so when we come out next year, we'll be.
Well, as we were talking earlier, you're in the situation you're in because you was forced to miss 2 races with the armed services, and Lord knows we certainly honored to have you doing that. But as you were talking, I think all of you guys has won like 2 races. Just how tough is it to win a championship in the Southeast Gassers?
It's very tough. There's a lot of good quality cars out here and good quality drivers, so it's very tough. You got to be at every race. You got to do good at every race. You just can't go out first round and stuff like that, or it ain't gonna work. So it's tough.
Well, brother, we'll look for you in the next round. Have a good one.
All right, we're going to move on to B-Gas Round 2, Vintage Pine Flooring and Cheater Slick Culture, helping bring you this race today. There's Ernie Smith in that 4-door Chevy 2 coming around the corner. There you see Priority Heating and Air on the front fender well, as well as Ace's High Tattoo, helping Ernie Smith pay the bills. Lee Vickery out of Hodgenville, Kentucky in that canned heat, going to take on Ernie Smith right here. And Christy Burchett getting Ernie Smith up to the line. And there you see Lee Vickery taking a win here on the track. Ernie Smith got caught napping just a bit on the tree, and that's all it took for Lee Vickery to take the win right here. Good slow-mo shot, just about a car length, as Ernie Smith loses that one.
Ernie Smith, Paula's nightmare may well be coming true for Lee Vickery. He actually beat you in that round, but he did not cross the scales. You did. You know the rules of this gig better than he does with your experience, obviously. So, Ernie Smith, Lee thought he won, but the fact is you're back in based on a technicality that he didn't weigh.
For the first time this year, I'm getting to talk to you, Mitch. It ain't the way I want to get here. That's a good competitor, a good race car, but I'll take it. But we've got the car back where we're competitive. We've fought it all year, brand new race car, but we're going rounds now.
Well, like I said, it don't matter how you get here, just so you're here. Good job.
They don't ask how you won, they just ask did you.
Great point right there. Colby Welch, the 16-year-old, going to take on the 78-year-old Danny Bird. A definite matchup of young versus old right here. Let's see if Colby Welch can teach that old man who's the boss, or if the gasser king from the late 60s, Danny Bird, can show the young whippersnapper right here that Ranchero is going to not live to fight another round. Danny Bird gets off the line good. Oh, looks like Danny Bird has some more problems about the same place he's been having them all day, and Colby Welch does not have those problems, and he screams on to victory. It's a great win right there for Colby Welch.
Colby Welch, brother, you know, this is your second race on an absolute family affair. You're going into the third round. That's got to feel good.
Oh, man, it feels great. I've been driving well. It's working.
It looks good. Every time you run, you're doing a good job, car doing a good job. I'm going to plan to talk to you in the next round yet again.
Yes, sir.
And there's the Smoking Sam right there of Mike Blackwell. He's going to be next up. He's going to take on Art Copeland. Art Copeland in that 41 Studebaker. Going to get all he wants of the Smoking Sam right here. Christy Burchett trying to help him get squared up is Art Copeland. Elizabeth Phillips bringing up Mike Blackwell. Blackwell spins uncharacteristically down low, and look at Art Copeland take that Studebaker and make that work for him, taking advantage of a problem that Mike Blackwell had on the starting line. Uncharacteristic to see what would happen right there.
Kryptonite, you know, we don't always get to talk to you, but it's a pleasure. You making rounds. What changes have you made? How you making rounds today?
Just trying to concentrate on driving, trying to learn to drive this thing.
Is that the secret? Is it you? Is the car capable? You just trying to catch up with the car?
Trying to catch up with the car. I'm going to take student driver tag off tonight.
Well, I think it's time. You're going into the third round, brother. Good job. We'll look for you then.
All right, there's a good in-car camera with Rick Varner, the dirt man. He'll be in the left lane in that little Chevy, too. He's going to take on Jimmy Huff in the Hoopty Wagon out of Loganville, Georgia. Jimmy Huff moving up this weekend to run in the B-gas category because he had to run a different power plant than he had in there before. So Huff going to be in that right lane that he was in earlier. Varner going to be in the left. Another great look at inside Varner's car. Good drag race. And Jimmy Huff pulls it out right at the top end to move on to round number 3. Summit starting line camera gives you the thing. Rick Varner got a great start, and too much, though, of that Jimmy Huff Ford horsepower just powers by him from mid-track to the top end. There you see the margin of victory right there, just about a car length and a half as Rick Varner gets put on the trailer.
The funny thing is we switched to B-gas for this race.
Okay, it's B-gas. Jimmy Huff, buddy, we don't get to talk to you a whole lot, but you know, switching over to B-gas seems to be your ace in the hole.
Yep, it's running pretty good today. It's a little bit hurt right now, but we're running it.
So you're saying that the old Falcon wagon kind of favors B-gas better than C?
It does.
Well, then we'll look to see just how much it favors, and we'll plan on talking to you in the third round.
All right, we hope so.
And there is Todd Napier. Check out that gear stick. Yep, that's about I guess it's about a 9/16 or more wrench, a box end wrench that he's got welded in there for his shifter. Just one of the many cool things that you'll find engineering-wise on a lot of these cars, and especially in that Atomic Hillbilly of Todd Napier's. He's going to take on our number 1 man in points right now, Tim Bailey. And if you're Tim Bailey, you got to be on your P's and Q's and hope this Fox Performance motor does its job against Todd Napier right here. And Todd Napier edges him out all by about a car length, and Tim Bailey gets put on the trailer uncharacteristically early here in second round. Man, that's a great looking in-car right there with Todd Napier.
Woo! Did you see that? I don't get to see nothing down here, Todd Napier. All I get is the aftermath. And so all I can say is you must have won that round, because you up here hollering like Ric Flair again, and the Atomic Hillbilly is making steam, brother. Tell me what's going on.
We got a new Phantom race engines making some power, and I've never had anything run like this before. And man, I'm speechless. I've never walked away from Tim Bailey. Never.
And that's what just happened, I take.
Sir. Yes, sir. That cat's always got its claws in me, and this time I got it off my back.
You do realize you just took out the points leader.
Sorry, Tim. No, you probably slapped me for that. I did not know. Yeah, you're right. See, we're a month behind this hillbillies are.
Well, son, all I know is we're going to plan to see you in the next round, so I'm going to be waiting right here to talk to Todd Napier one more time.
Yes, sir. We'll be back. I come out with him there, and then I shipped in, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn it 8, and when I did, it went. Man.
Great emotion right there from Todd Napier as you hear the excitement in his voice. And the next guy up right here, that's going to be T.J. York, the Greenhorn Hillbilly. And he's going to take on James Beard in the obsolete 2. Beard going to favor that left lane. Looks like T.J. York going to favor the right lane as he was there in the first round, and it proved to be good for him as well. Elizabeth Phillips going to bring him up to the line right here to the light, getting that Greenhorn Hillbilly ready to go. James Beard already sitting, ready to attack. Good lead by both drivers right here. This is a good drag race. T.J. York pulls forth at the mid-stripe and takes the win. Check out that in-car camera. Good drag race right there. Too bad somebody had to lose that one. But T.J. York marches on to round number 3.
T.J. York, my friend, you know, we was talking a little bit ago. You've won the second round. You're going into the third round. And you've done a real special treat for a great friend this weekend, old Rod Bergener, bringing his son in on his son's birthday. Unexpected from Rod.
Oh, yeah, that was a great deal. His boy got to come in, see him race, got to be in the same thing on his birthday. And then they come up with the Blue Haze Potsy shirt. So Rod's known as Potsy now. We got the Blue Haze instead of the Purple Haze going. We got the Blue Haze going.
Well, so far from what I can tell, the Blue Haze is just as potent as the Purple Haze, because the Purple Haze went out first round. Blue Haze is making rounds, and you got Potsy, which is old Rod Bergener. And not only did his son come in, but his grandson also. What a treat.
It's been great. Yeah, that's a cool deal with the son, the grandkids, daughter-in-law, the whole deal. It's a great thing. It's all about family.
It's all about family, and brother, as I told you, I respect you more and more every day, TJ. What a great treat to involve yourself in for the benefit of one of your fellow racers. We'll be looking for you in the next round.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate all you do.
All right, there's Todd Rosenberry in a 2 bumpy. Going to take on Gary Smith. The winner of this one's going to take on T.J. York in the next round. Gary Smith with a big hole shot advantage right there, and that's going to be all he needs. And Gary Smith, 2 rounds back-to-back for the Chicken Bone out of Leesville, South Carolina. What a great win right there. A-Gas, we're going to move right over that way as Gary Smith weighing and getting back to his pit. A-Gas going to be, first one up is going to be Todd Blackwell, the slingshot out of Campobello, South Carolina. He's going to get a bye run right here by virtue of being the number 2 qualifier here today in Knoxville. That's just the way the bracket played out with the number of cars we had. Now, will he run it through hard or will he take it easy? Knowing Todd Blackwell, he's going to run it hard. Second gear wheels in the air, third gear wheels in the air, moves over toward the center, so he backs off of it, keeps it off the center line, and he's going to move on to round number 3. He'll take on the winner of the Justin Moses-Steve Davis matchup that'll be coming your way in just a few minutes. But in the meantime, Dean Jonas in that 66 Chevy 2 called the Agent Orange is going to take on Gabriel Burrell, the Southern Flyer out of Columbus, North Carolina. That is a 1931 Ford Tudor with Jimmy Huff horsepower underneath the hood. Kimmery Turner backing up Gabriel Burrell, so making sure he's in his tracks, ready to go for maximum performance. Dean Jonas patiently waiting on Gabriel Burrell as the sun sets here in the Tennessee night. What a drag race right there, and Dean Jonas pulls out the win. That is a little baby upset. Just about a half a car length right there, maybe a car length for Dean Jonas as he takes the win right here.
Dean Jonas, brother, going right into the third round. That's the second round in the books, taking out Gabriel Burrell. Agent Orange seems to be a potent measure today.
It's doing pretty good. It's doing pretty good today.
So,
I made a few little engine changes, nothing major, and it's responded very well.
Well, that sounds like old Dean Jonas might be happy about that.
I'm happy about that.
So you got
always happy to make rounds.
So you got another round in store?
I got another round in store.
We'll be talking to you then. Good luck, brother. Have a good one.
All right, and there is Rob Walden in that 33 Willis. He's got a tall order on his hands with the number 1 qualifier here today. That is Kenneth Phillips, the winner of our last 2 A-Gas races. This is going to be a good matchup. Rob Walden still looking to go rounds and looking for consistency out of that 33 Willis. He's been able to achieve a little bit, but he is going to have to achieve a lot right here if he's going to knock off Kenneth Phillips. He can't do it. Unfortunately, Kenneth Phillips is going to knock him off. There you see the margin of victory at the stripe. Going to be about 2 car lengths as both of those cars have some short wheelbase.
Kenneth Phillips, brother, you're making rounds, and that's all you can do. You can only control your car. You can't control the one you're chasing, but you're doing what you can.
That's right. That's making rounds, and I'm happy to be making rounds. So if I just go all the way to the end, I can do it.
No doubt about it, kid. That's what we were talking about earlier. You know, at this point, you have to wait on him to make a mistake. And if you ain't there when he does it, it does you no good.
Exactly. That's right.
Good luck, brother. We'll see you in the next round.
All right, there's the next pair coming into the beams right here. That's going to be Ben Christopher, and he's got a monster on his hands, the Swamp Monster, Alan Gaulden, in the left lane in that 61 Corvette. Both these guys got that par race engines under the hood, Performance Automotive engines. And just too much Swamp Monster over there in the left lane. That big block really talking and putting Ben Christopher out here in round number 2. Wheels up in second and third gear.
Alan Gaulden, brother, you just following Kenneth Phillips across the scales. Obviously, you know he's matching you round for round. And with that, you know, he's just waiting on you to make a mistake. I suggest you don't.
Yeah, well, we're not making no mistakes right now. And car's doing good. I'm driving good. Just got to go one round at a time.
That's all it is. All it is you got one behind you, then you got one in front of you. So just keep fighting.
Absolutely. Thank you.
There's Justin Moses up the next pair. He's going to be taking on Steve Davis in that Spinny 2 car. Both these guys tending to be in the same lanes they were in the first round, as Steve Davis in the left lane out of Monroe, North Carolina, trying to take out the Brazelton, Georgia runner Justin Moses in that 56 Chevy. He'll be in the right lane. They're getting ready to pull up to the Summit starting line. As you see those cars getting in the beams, getting ready to go. Good drag race right here, and Justin Moses pulls it out on the big end. Get that starting line look again. Both of them about even off the starting line. And Justin Moses with that big block power pulls through at the top end.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. It needs to happen. I'm so excited about this. After the whole motor build and everything else, it's just been, and he hasn't been this far in a long time. He's going into third round as A-Gas. So
how do you feel about that?
I'm super excited. Like, this time coming. I'm so happy.
Justin, brother, you know, I don't get to talk to you often, and it's a great pleasure, I got to tell you. I'm happy to see you making rounds. You know, as we know, you and your wife, Jenny, one of the biggest supporters of the S.E.G.A, and it's a great pleasure to see somebody with such dedication do well. I got to know, what happened here? Did you just flat out run him? Did you tree him? What's going on?
Well, we left on him on a little bit on the tree and just outran him going down the track.
This thing seems to be at this race really making power. Is there something new power plant, new changes? What's happening?
Yeah, we had built a new motor over the first half of the season, and the last 3 races we've just been kind of doing test and tune, trying to figure out where we need to be at on shifting and trying to work out the bugs, so to speak, and we seem to got them worked out pretty good now.
I was going to say, seems like that the testing played a pretty good hand for you, because Steve Davis ain't no small fry, so good job, brother. We'll look for you next round.
All right, we'll see y'all.
All right, let's move into Super Stock round number 1 right here. Super Stock with this ultra tight points battle. There you see the 4-speed Stampede of Robert Peffley, the 65 Plymouth Belvedere wagon. 440 cubic inches of Plymouth under the hood right there. He is our number 1 qualifier here today. He's going to run it hard through on this bye run that he has by virtue of being the number 1 qualifier. Next up is going to be Mark Hackett in that 65 Mercury Comet Caliente. He hails out of Lebanon, Tennessee, and he's going to be running Todd Petit. A first race with us with Todd, as he's just rushed to get this car here, as a matter of fact. And he is going to be a first-round casualty, is Todd Petit.
First round out of the way, and so far it's shaping up to be another Peffley and Hackett final, from the early rounds. He's winning rounds. You're taking, I guess that was what, a bye run for you, or is that was a thing?
No, it wasn't a bye run. I had Todd Petit there, but yeah, it was a good win. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. Everybody's come to win, you can tell, and so we've got a bow tie in this thing tonight that's quick. So who knows right now what's going to happen? I just know
this is the way I like Superstock. Okay, nobody knows.
Yeah, absolutely. There ain't been a lot of talking this weekend either. Everybody's serious and on their game. So yeah, it'll be a good time.
Well, let's just wait and see how it unfolds.
Okay, buddy. Thank you.
And there's the Dana, Indiana runner Mike Wyatt in that beautiful Galaxy. He's going to take on the Leesville, South Carolina runner, Zach Long, the Brass Monkey, in that 66 Belvedere wagon in the left lane. And in the right lane is going to be Mike Wyatt. Mike Wyatt getting a whole shot advantage right there. Looks like that's all he's going to need if it holds up through the 8th mile. Zach Long having some problems in the left lane. Another great starting line shot.
Hey, the old soul sacrifice is paying off, my brother. I understand that's a solid win from starting line to finish line all the way. It was 100% forward.
Boy, I tell you what, that thing just pulled off the best pass it's ever made. I got up there and I forgot to check the tires before I left, and they was a little low, so I just left them low, and that thing went.
You might better figure out what that was and go back to it.
I tell you what, this thing's toting the mail tonight.
Good job.
He's going to have an issue next round.
Oh, you think so? Well, now, what a challenge that is, brother. I can't wait to see that. So the cardboard intake ain't going to do him no good.
No, he's going to have a fight all the way on this one, I guarantee you.
All right, there is the 57 Lucille by Dale Morton out of Dallas, North Carolina. He's going to take on the Impala, driven by Rick Varner, that 63 Impala. Varner pulling double duty as he's got a super stock car that is a beautiful piece, and also running one in B-Gas competition as well. Dale Morton in the left lane in that 57 Ford. Can't hold up to the horsepower in the left lane, and Rick Varner going to move on here in the first round to the second round. All right, Bobby Frizzell in the Legacy out of Ivor, South Carolina, pulling around the corner. He's going to choose the left lane. In the right lane, that's going to be Dallas Peffley in the Grumpy B, the 67 Plymouth Belvedere wagon. And if that name sounds familiar, you've heard that Peffley name before, and you've heard both of them in a Belvedere wagon. Those guys are Plymouth powered through and through. Looks like the Grumpy B is staying consistent and pulling away at mid-track and taking this win here in the 8th mile. Bobby Frizzell will live to fight another day.
Dallas, I hear you and Robert doing a little bit of midnight oil, a little secret research and development, cardboard intake kind of thing, Seems to be paying off pretty well.
Well, those cardboard intakes work pretty good. I'm kidding on that. We'd found some stuff that's totally within the rules, just trying different combinations. That's one of the things you got to do in this class. Nobody's laying down, and you got to just keep picking away at it, trying stuff, see if you can make them go.
Well, they sure ain't nobody laying down, and the competition getting stiffer. You know, that Chevrolet's starting to sneak in here now. And but I got one question for you guys. How do you keep that cardboard from getting fuel saturated?
It's special cardboard, man.
All right, round number 3 in B gas coming right up here. We got 30 cars, as we said before.
Talk about how do you feel about getting this far?
I'm thrilled. I mean, I really didn't think I'd make it this far. Everything's worked out great, and I got lucky.
How's the car feeling?
It feels really good. We've been making a few small changes, but other than that, it's just driving.
And that is the 16-year-old Colby Welch talking to Trent Sherrill right there. And he's going to take it easy as he has achieved a bye run. As Jerry Birch, you remember, going out early in the first round, that would have been a bye in the top half of the ladder right there that supposedly could have been for Birch, but this is racing, and he turned on that red light. So Colby Welch is going to move on into the 4th round. Unprecedented move for him. And up next right here, that's going to be the comic hillbilly of Todd Napier taking on good friend and competitor Ernie Smith out of Spartanburg, South Carolina. Look at those wheels up for the Atomic Hillbilly as they get ready to blast down this 8-mile drag strip. And looks like it's going to be none other than the Atomic Hillbilly of Todd Napier taking the win right here. Next 2 coming out, that's going to be Art Copeland into Kryptonite, the 1941 Studebaker out of Georgia, taking on another Georgia boy in Jimmy Huff in the Hoopty Wagon. Hoopty Wagon going to be in that right side where he has been so much tonight. And in the left is going to be Art Copeland. There you see Kaylee Smith getting Jimmy Huff up to the lights as Christy Burchett does the same for Art Copeland. The student driver, Art Copeland, dropping the hammer right there. And is it going to be enough to take out Jimmy Huff? Yes, it is. Art Copeland makes a huge pass right there, knocking out Jimmy Huff, who had a bit of a problem about mid-track. TJ York right here, the 55 Chevy, going to take on Gary Smith. Gary Smith in the 3rd round of competition for the first time ever, I think. Having a little bit of problem is Gary Smith. Hopefully he's going to be okay to get it to the line. There you see Quayne Stott looking things over, making sure everything is okay.
Can you check for liquid?
Oh my goodness, it looks like they're going to have some problems right here on the starting line. Okay, they got it worked out. Oh my goodness, there, radiator hose blows for Smith on the starting line, and TJ York will take a competition single right here, as unfortunately Gary Smith makes it to the 3rd round and loses a radiator line. Oh, we hate that for Gary, a constant runner out here, a loyal racer.
We will have to move this car back, get it cleaned up.
Good thing about that is not a lot of radiator fluid in there with just a lot of water, so that will clean up quickly, and we'll get right back to action here in A-Gas. There's Dean Jonas going to be in the right lane. He's going to be on a single for this time. That 66 Chevy too, the Agent Orange. Just a beautiful race car. And Dean's going to take it easy and just move the car down the track and take the win right here and move on to the next round. There's Kenneth Phillips in the matchup coming of the 2 Goliaths here in A-Gas, the battle of the silver Corvettes. Kenneth Phillips going to be put in the left lane this time, and Alan Gaulden going to be in the right. The 58 Corvette of the Silver Streak versus the 61 Corvette of the Frequent Flyer. Gene Fulton horsepower, as we've said before, under the Silver Streak 2. Scott Duggan's horsepower underneath the hood for the 61 Corvette of the Frequent Flyer out of Land of Lakes, Florida, Alan Gaulden. These 2 guys, good friends off the racetrack, but now it is on right now. The fists are ready to come out. Who's going to throw the knockout punch right here? Alan Gaulden turns the red light on and gives the win to Kenneth Phillips. and that is tough as Kenneth Phillips is trying to chase down Alan Gaulden, and Alan Gaulden hurt his own chances right there, and Kenneth Phillips moves on. There is the 1956 Chevy of Justin Moses. He'll be in the right lane. He's going to take on Todd Blackwell in the slingshot, which will be in the left lane. There you see Jenny Moses right out front, backing her husband into his tracks. Elizabeth Phillips helping out on the Blackwell car, as both Phillips and Blackwell live up in that Campobello, South Carolina area. Justin Moses there waiting patiently for Todd Blackwell to get in. Both men sporting that full face helmet for safety. Good leave. Look at that shot right there of the starting line. And Justin Moses pulls off a huge win right here. That new power that he has under the hood paying dividends right here in round number 3.
I couldn't tell how.
Woo! I've got goosebumps. Holy crap!
How's that your boy doing good?
I'm telling you.
I'm telling you what, baby.
There you see Quayne Stott offering congratulations to Jenny Moses.
I didn't know
As the
about
Moses family moves to round 3, we're turning it right back around to Superstock right now. Speed and Culture helping bring you this presentation here today. There is the Dana, Indiana runner Mike Wyatt in the Soul Sacrifice. Just a beautiful paint job on that car that he put on it over the wintertime. Glad he's able to make it all the way out here with us. He's going to take on good friend Robert Peffley. Trying to knock Peffley off right here, but Peffley with a whole shot advantage on the tree, and that's going to be all he needs to put Mike Wyatt on the trailer headed back to Indiana. There's that 4-speed Stampede leaving the line. There, the dirt man, Rick Varner, back on the line again in that beautiful Chevrolet that he has, the 63 Impala out of North Carolina, going to take on Dallas Peffley, Robert's father. He's got that big Belvedere himself. And he knocks him out. Look at the crew. They are excited for their dad and crew members celebrating right there on the line as Rick Varner puts a big runner in Dallas Peffley on the trailer. Here's Mark Hackett in that Caliente. He's going to get a competition single right here. Will he run it through to try to get lane choice? Who knows? Looks like he is going to make a full pass right here, trying to get lane choice as he comes up for the next round. That could be important. And we're going to turn and have a break in the action and turn those Superstocks right back around. That's the beauty of video, as we can move it forward right here. And there comes the Superstock category right back at you. And there's the matchup that he was going for lane choice for. Mark Hackett on the left lane and Robert Peffley in the right lane. Battle of the 1 versus 2 all year long. These guys have been going at it. Trying to give him all he can handle is Mark Hackett, and he can't get the job done here today. The big Robert Peffley horsepower took it at the stripe by about a half a car length. Our number 1 and a number 2 points men right there, as Peffley is leading the points and Hackett hot on his trail in second. Another great shot by Sewell Imagery right there of those guys on the line. And as luck would have it, Rick Varner going to get a bye run right here, and he's just going to ease that Chevrolet down as he knows it's going to be a quick turnaround to go up against Robert Peffley in the finals. Here is Leslie Horn taking on Tim Hall. And Leslie Horn turns on the red light, and Tim Hall gets the win. Uncharacteristic of the stud muffin, and you see it right here in this great camera angle he goes red. Red is dead, and Tim Hall will move on to the next round. There's the 58 Delray of Todd Oden, and Josh Pruitt goes red. 2 red lights in a row, making things awfully easy for those guys as the beneficiary of the red light. There you see that great camera angle that we talked about before. The 22-year-old got a little too happy with the clutch as we will move to B gas. All right, TJ York going to stay in that right lane where he's been favoring all day. And he is finally going to get Colby Welch, and Colby Welch's night ends right there as TJ York puts the young 16-year-old on the trailer. And it was won right there in that first 60 feet with that Greenhorn Hillbilly power, powering on through to the end in the 1/8 of a mile. But a great run and a great day for the Welch family and Colby Welch in that Ranchero as they head back to Indiana with smiles on their faces, I know. Todd Napier going to get Art Copeland right here, the Atomic Hillbilly and the Kryptonite. Oh, the Atomic Hillbilly just tattoos him on the tree. And that's all he's going to need as the Atomic Hillbilly keeps those Tennessee runner hopes alive here in the Volunteer State. Look at that wheels up, steel shot right there. We move to A gas. Again, Vintage Pine Flooring bringing you the action here today at Knoxville Dragway. And there's Kenneth Phillips back in the right lane where he likes to be. He's going to get a competition single right here. He is going to run it through for lane choice as he loves to be in that right lane, it seems. Boy, listen to that car go through the traps right there. The intent look on Kenneth Phillips's face knows and lets you know that he is dead set to win this A-Gas Points Championship this year, and this may be his best opportunity this year. Justin Moses going to take on the Agent Orange of Dean Jonas. Dean Jonas going to stay in that left lane where he's favored today. Good drag race right here. Dean Jonas pulling away at mid-track and driving it through the 8-mile stripe to take the win, where he'll take on Kenneth Phillips coming up next in the finals. Love to let you hear to those shots. Look at that Summit starting line camera catching the action on the starting line right there. As we move to the Super Stock final, Rick Varner going to take on Robert Peffley, the 4-speed Stampede, as Peffley has a chance to put another round between he and Mark Hackett to pick up 10 points that he ever so needs in this Super Stock World Championship run that he is trying to make. Jenny Moses bringing back Rick Varner. Love the line. Great looking race car. This is going to be a big matchup for him to see if he can knock out that big Chrysler Plymouth horsepower over there in the right lane of the 4-speed Stampede. Oh, and he was going for it too. Turned on the red light, essentially giving the race over to Peffley, but Rick was definitely trying his best to end the streak of a Peffley or a Hackett winning here in Superstock. Maybe he'll have to wait till Aiken to see if he can break through there for the first Superstock win of his career. Love that GoPro camera we got set up down there, taking a little bit of a chance.
All right, Robert Peffley, congratulations. Win number 5 on the year here. This 4-speed Stampede, you might have to change it to a 5-speed Stampede. You got 5 wins already on the year.
Yeah, we come back and worked real hard in this last month off because the last 2 races, Mark Hackett knocked us around pretty good, and we was tired of that, so we had to do something.
Well, and you did. I mean, you come out here today, you put this out on the pole, you number 1 qualifier, and you marched right through the field. Yeah, we just had a real good day. Car ran good straight off the trailer, and we really didn't touch it all day. Just kept beating on it. Well, beating on it you did, and beating on the competition you are too. You're the points lead right now with 2 races left to go. Yeah, we're glad we stayed in front of the points lead. Everything's crucial now. I mean, there's still no giving up because, I mean, anything can happen, but the points are, when you need them, you need them.
Well, and you got a handle on them right now going into the last 2 races. What do you foresee going into Superstock?
We're just going to keep trying to be consistent. I mean, it ain't over till it's over, so we don't count our chickens till they hatch here, but we're just going to keep trying to be consistent, keep showing up every race.
Speaking of hatching chickens, I mean, you got a lot of chickens back here. It came with you on this trip. I know you want to give them some thanks, and any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I definitely got to thank my family and my wife. They keep pushing me. Even when I want to give up, she says, get out there and work on that thing. We're going again. And I got to thank a couple good sponsors. I got Mike Stark, CFM Performance on my cylinder heads, and Brewers Performance on my transmission. And got to thank Black Magic for all the clutch help they give us.
I tell you what, you got some Black Magic going on right now. The voodoo is definitely strong with this car. Your winner today here at Knoxville Dragway, Robert Peffley in the 4-speed Stampede. There you see Peffley with the whole crew in the car as he can get all those kids and the wife in there too. And that is a fast grocery getter right there in our Superstock category. Finals for S.E.G.A. Tim Hall going to be in the Scalded Dog Rambler trying to knock off and get another win right here, but he has got a big one on his hands, and a big wide load is that 58 Delray of Todd Oden. There you see Mr. Lester Oden standing beside that car telling him, okay, Todd, it's go ahead for you now. Battle of the big versus the little cubic inches, the little car of the Scalded Dog, and the big car, the 58 Delray with the big cubic inches and the wide load across the back for Todd Oden. There's a great shot of Gina Oden bringing Todd up, getting him ready to go. Good drag race right there, and Tim Hall takes the win here in Knoxville, Tennessee tonight. Look at that margin of victory, ever so close, just almost a car length. Another good shot here as they leave the line. Look at that drone footage that we have overhead. Great shot by Trent Sherrill and his crew here videoing this event for us in the Southeast Gassers. You can really see Todd working the clutch right there with those Chuck Taylors on. Tim Hall, that's my count says 3 this year. Is that right, or is this 4?
3.
3 wins for you right here in the Scalded Dog. And Tim, you had a good car from start to finish all day today.
Yeah, the car saved me today. I didn't do a real good job of driving that starting line, but the car was fast, and it made up for my shortcomings today. So we got to work on our clutch a little bit. We got a hydraulic clutch, and it's being real aggravating, real inconsistent, and we're going to get rid of it during the winter at least if we don't do it before then. So
it's got to. You had a day today where you were up to the challenge, and you're telling me that you weren't, but you did come through this field, and a tough field today here in S.E.G.A.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's like the good Lord looks out for you, and I think that's what He done with me today. Is some days it's your day and you can't mess it up, and other days you can do all you want to, and if it ain't His will, it just don't happen, So maybe it was maybe He wanted me to have it, I don't know. So
I believe you telling us about half the story. You playing those cards close to your chest here, Tim.
That's the whole story right there. I got to do a better job on that starting line. That's all the bottom line.
Well, it's a good points today for you as well. You're continuing to climb. You're well within the top 5, but I got to think you might be in that top 2 or 3 right now.
I don't know. I hadn't even looked at it, to be honest with you. Just going out there doing the best I can, trying to get these, because I think I'm kind of not mathematically, but very unlikely to have any chance of winning it. So second place is, what they say about that. So.
Well, I know you got some sponsors you'd like to thank and some people you'd like to thank for all your help.
Yeah, Molly Motorsports helping us out a little bit, and we really appreciate that. I got Tim Brown's Roofing Company, Roofing Unlimited on the back there. Barry Whitworth, Professional Body Works, he did the paint job on the car, done an awesome job, I think. And so, yeah, we appreciate all those guys. Steffes Auto Salvage, he helps us out some when he can. And just a local guy there in Abbeville that, likes racing. So we appreciate it all of them. Couldn't do it without them.
And you got your dad and your brother here this weekend. I know they've been helping turn the wrenches too.
Yep, I need to thank Daddy too, because he brings his motor home and he buys the fuel and gets us to and from the racetrack. And
and that helps a ton. If that motorhome drinks it, So, but appreciate having family with me when I'm doing it, and wish my wife and Mama could be here, but they couldn't be here this time. But maybe we can do it again at Carolina or Shadyside when they will be there. So.
All right, well, here's your winner today. Number 3 on the year. That's 3 flower vases for the wife.
That's right.
Tim Hall, winner
right.
here today at Knoxville.
I'm sure if y'all look on Facebook, there'll be some flowers in there in the morning.
There you see that beautiful scalded dog leaving the victory lane as we move to B-Gas in the finals right here. T.J. York going to be in the finals, his first finals ever in the Southeast Gassers, taking on the hometown guy, Todd Napier, out of Oliver Springs, Tennessee. T.J. York trying to climb right here as Jerry Birch is out of competition in round number 1. And this could be a monumental day for T.J. York if he was able to pull off the upset right here. Either one of these drivers looking to put their car in victory lane for the first time ever in Southeast Gassers. Look at the wheels up again for Todd Napier, and T.J. York trying to mount a charge at half track, and does! T.J. York puts it in victory lane here today at Knoxville for his first ever win in the Southeast Gassers. I know that is going to be a jubilant victory lane, as you can hear his wife already celebrating. Look at those wheels up on the starting line right there for T.J. York. Good job. All right, T.J. York, first time we put it in victory lane right here, this Greenhorn Hillbilly son. All the hours that you've put in, all the traveling from Ohio, you've made it pay off.
Buddy, it's well worth it. This wasn't just me, though. This was the Southeast Gasser family. I mean, I've had troubles, and people's jumped right in and helped me change motors. Heck, this race, I busted the Striver, Steve Davis and his crew, Jeff, Johnny. I mean, I'm going to forget people, Rod, everybody that jumped in, and, I mean, just helped me fix my car. I mean, it's just not me. This is them, too. This is the whole family thing. Like I said, when you come to these, it's a family event, and the racing's just a cherry on top of it. This is it's an honor. Real honor.
I've seen that happen with you, with Rod Bergner coming in this year, Jeff Madden, yourself, and Tim Bailey, especially last year or earlier this year, helping you out with your dad, bringing you the motor. You're exactly right. That is a family, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a great honor. And like I said, told Mitch down there, I've run NHRA, RHRA, won some divisionals and stuff and class races, but it doesn't compare to this at all. This is the cat's butt, man. This is awesome.
And I know it's going to be a great phone call when you're able to tell Dad that you put the Greenhorn Hillbilly back in victory lane and carried on that family lineage.
Yeah, I'm going to call him, my wife, and always called him and the boys. That was the only thing. The boys couldn't be here and him, but they've already called him. They're happy, but I'm going to make the phone call when we get back to the trailer for sure. But like I said, it wasn't just me. There's a lot of help here to help me get this.
Well, you did a good job today on the tree. You did your job behind the wheel all day. This car really performed well for you after working out those bugs.
Yeah, it was a real consistent car today. It went down the track well. It only got stupid one round, and I drove. I didn't kick myself in the butt a few times, so I did okay. So it just worked out. God was with me and helped me get down through there all day. So it was an honor.
Big congratulations to you and your wife. I know there's got to be somebody else that you want to thank. Any sponsors you want to help?
Yeah, I want to thank. I know we run for some, but Jegs helps me out, and I got to thank them. They keep me going on some parts and stuff, and it helps out a lot. And I like I said, got a lot of help from most of it's all right here in the family. They help me. Other than Jegs, that's about the only sponsor I got, and it's just been fun. I don't know what else to say.
Well, big win for you today right here in Knoxville Dragway, the first one ever for T.J. York, and we're awful proud of you, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, the A-Gas finals coming up right here. Kenneth Phillips going to try to take another win right here and make it 3 in a row. But standing in his way is Dean Jonas out of Mount Holly, North Carolina in that Agent Orange, the 1966 Chevy 2. There you see a great shot of that car. Elizabeth Phillips backing up her husband, Kenneth, in the Silver Streak 2. He'll be in the right lane. Dean Jonas will be in the left. Got to know if Kenneth Phillips is thinking about this right now. If I can get a win right here, that'll draw me within maybe one round, I think that's right, of Alan Gaulden and Dean Jonas gives it away and turns on the red light. Dean Jonas uncharacteristically turning on the red light, and that gives the win right immediately to Kenneth Phillips. Looks like his car just pulled through, maybe a clutch situation or something, or an air gap situation. That pulled him through. There you see his wife. She is awfully happy.
That's how you feel? That's a big smile?
Elizabeth getting a hug from her mother, Sandy Noel, right there. So the family gets a good win right there.
Well. I know it's going to be a battle, too, every time I see him coming. But I did come out on top today.
And like you said, you've narrowed that points lead down to where you're even with 2 races to go. I mean, it is going to be a shootout right all the way to the finals at Shadyside.
It is, and they're not going to give it to me, so I'm going to have to work for it to get it.
Well, and you're not a stranger to putting in the work, but hey, first win as a new married man, so how's that feel?
That feels good.
You going to thank your backup girl again?
I thank my wife for backing me up.
That's a good call right there. Your winner today here at Knoxville Dragway, Kenneth Phillips, 3 in a row for the Silver Streak.
Drag racing's safe, and it's a whole lot of fun, and it is a real sport.
All right, Mitch Stott, we find ourselves concluding this event here at Knoxville Dragway, and all I can say is wow. We had some incredible racing, wonderful fan support here today, and what a car count.
Yeah, David, you know, I truthfully, I don't think I've ever used a word that I'm just kind of in awe at a drag race. But this particular year at Knoxville, we had a record car count. We had a record spectator count. We had new winners. It's never won in categories before. I mean, every single thing about this race today was just new and exciting and breathing that new life for tomorrow into the Southeast Gassers Association. And I mean, it was just suspenseful. And then you've got Tim going out early in B-Gas, and then here Jerry Birch not capitalizing by going red light, and so Tim Bailey gets this, you know, the give me of all times. He goes out, makes himself vulnerable for Jerry to catch him, and then Jerry goes red, and so that just stayed the same. And then Kenneth Phillips, Lord have mercy, you know, here he comes. Now him and Alan Gaulden, they go to the next race tied for the A-Gas championship points. And then, of course, you know, you got T.J. York. You know, here he is, his first win. And then the Atomic Hillbilly, Todd Napier, going to the finals with him, and you know, it was the match of the hillbillies. It was just a day. And then there's one thing that I got to talk about that nobody knows, and that is T.J. York and those guys, Jeff Madden and them. And I know I'm leaving one or two of them out, but they're kind of like the Three Amigos. And but anyway, Rod Bergner, yeah, he's the third of the Three Amigos. Well, Rod's son's birthday was today. T.J. York made an arrangement with his son and grandson, by the way, to come all the way down from Wisconsin to be at this race with Rod. Unbeknownst to Rod, just a complete and total surprise for him. And what a family we have, David. Oh, my God, are we ever blessed with family.
We are, and you know, guys who didn't make the finals today, we saw cars going to the quarterfinals, making strides in their personal racing that is going to make Southeast Gassers even tighter and even more competitive. I mean,
it's as TJ said, I have won races in NHRA, IHRA, all of these sanctioning bodies, and none of them are even come close to comparing to the sheer thrill of victory that I had here today.
I don't think you could sum it up any better, Mitch. That is the epitome of what we do here.
It is, David. And to that, you know, we might as well close it out.
A big day in Southeast Gasser racing. You're exactly right. Mitch, would you bless us and take us out of here?
I'd love to, David. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you in the name of Jesus Christ, and we are so blessed from you. We know that our graces and that the safety of our racers and the success of this association is all a direct, dear God, a gift from you.
And we want to ask you, Father, if you will please give graces, traveling mercies to all of our competitors, our fans, our spectators, everyone at home, our families, the people who watch us on television. Lord, just touch them, save them. So all we want to do is we want to use this racing sanction, dear God, to share your graces, to show your mercies. In Jesus Christ's holy name we pray. Amen.